I want to talk about something today that I don't think people realize what it's cost them. And I want to talk about waste in hay, baleage, whatever, baled feed, however you're doing it. Here we are in the same staging area that you've seen before. You'll see right straight in front of me where I've been started pulling off that one row there a little bit. I'm doing that because that is some fescue that came out of some waterways. When we come to waterways, we just keep right on through it and bale it. And then I try to segregate it when we load it and all and kind of keep it together so I can kind of add that in so we aren't feeding all fescue or something, because I really don't care for fescue. Anyway, but you'll notice those bales where I've been feeding there's just zero waste. Nothing's coming up from the bottom. Moisture's not wicking up from the bottom and rotting it. And there's nothing obviously can get to it from the top because of the plastic. Now these bales on the end here obviously are dry bales that are sealing the tube. So, they're going to weather some on the end. But I feed them, but I pretty much just put them in as extras. But you'll see there's zero waste there. Zero. If you manage right, there's zero waste there. If there's waste, you wasted it. You tore the bale up with a loader. You didn't put the net wrap on it, whatever. And then where people seem to not be getting it is you'll notice how we're feeding this here. Now this feeder is getting ready to go in the feed lot. Nothing special here. We're not doing anything special at all here. But so many people just throw the bale out there. They don't even put a ring around it. Now I use rings. I've got a bunch of rings down there too, and I have 3 of these feeders like you're looking at here. One of them's a little bit longer than this, and it's narrower, but it'll hold 4 bales. I don't like it because it's so narrow, but anyway, we use it. I prefer this style right here. Okay, now, and I see I got a tire low. That's probably not good because it was up tight when I started. Anyway, Virginia Tech did a study some years ago and stated twine wrapped bales left outside, talking spring hay, dry hay, left outside, would lose at a minimum a third. And they stated they didn't know of any operation that could do that. Could afford that kind of loss. I can't. Okay? And that wasn't even talking about feeding it. So then if you put it in there and they waste it, you don't have rings around it, you don't have some sort of feeder, you're wasting more than that. And I see some guys the way they're doing it, it's at least 50%. I wouldn't doubt a bit it did more than that. But if you'll do the math, what you're looking at here, when we started, was for round figures, 600 round bales of baleage. We sold some last year, and make a long story short, it's $50 a roll is what it comes out to be. Or a bale, we call it a roll. Anyway, if you figure a third, 600 bales, $50 a bale, and figure a third, that's $9,900 loss. Not even counting the waste of how you feed it. So by the time you get done, you're looking at 40%. I can't stand that. And most people don't realize they're losing that much simply because they haven't crunched the numbers. Okay? Yes, hay rings are expensive. Priced some this year, tick under $200 up to a tick under $300, depending on how you wanted them and what gauge and how you wanted them coated and all this and that and the other. So, whatever you prefer dictates the cost there. But you cannot afford not to buy rings. I've heard people say, well, I can't afford rings. Let me tell you something, folks. If you're feeding hay, you can't afford not to have rings or some sort of feeder. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. But anyway, if I can, I'm going to get you a little video clip of what I'm talking about. And you wouldn't believe the waste. In keeping with the theme of what not to do in feeding your cattle, here's an example of what you don't want to do. Now, this is not my farm. The guy that's running the operation doesn't own it, he's renting it, so, and I hope nobody recognizes it because that's not the point. But the point is, you'll see how he's feeding the cattle. He's just putting the hay out. There's no rings on it. There's nothing keeping them from wasting it. Putting out plenty of bales, so he's not bothered. Hey, that's his prerogative. This is still America. I hope it stays that way too. He has the freedom to do that. But you'll see how much he's wasting. I mean, just look at the waste. I promise you it's over 50% waste. Easy. And that's absolutely what you don't want to do.